Hello everyone, Nathaniel Gavroski here in small town Iowa, and there are big changes coming to a lot of small towns around the state, and I want to give you a rundown on what the governor's new orders entail. Okay, like I said, there's big changes coming for a lot of the state. 77 counties are going to see a loosening of many of the restrictions. However, the outbreak counties are going to maintain the same kind of rules that have been in place, and those have all been extended. The governor has extended the declaration of emergency up until May 27th. May 15th is, so far, all the other rules are going to stay in place for these counties: Allamakee, Benton, Blackhawk, Bremer, Dallas, Des Moines, Dubuque, Fayette, Iowa, Jasper, Johnson, Linn, Louisa, Marshall, Muscatine, Polk, Poweshiek, Scott, Tama, Washington, and Woodbury counties. So until at least May 15th in those counties, you're not going to see much of a change. And if you don't know where the counties are, I'll kind of give you a quick, easy way to figure it out. With the exception of Woodbury County, which is up by the South Dakota border, you know, where Sioux City, Sergeant Bluffs is at, that's the only one in the western part of the state. Other than that, you take basically Dallas County, West Des Moines, and Polk County, and you follow Iowa Interstate 80 all the way to the Mississippi River. With the exception of a couple of counties, all of those are going to be closed off until May 15th. And then you have north on 380 or 27 from Iowa City to the Blackhawk area, Cedar Falls, Waterloo. They're not going to get much of reprieve. You have Dubuque County and that northeast Allamakee County. They're not going to see any changes. And then you go south from Iowa City along 218 down to like around Highway 34 and eastward. You're gonna not see much of any changes until at least May 15th. For the other 77 counties, and that's the majority of the state, you're gonna see kind of a soft reopening. For those 77 counties, you're gonna see malls that are gonna start to reopen under 50% of fire code capacity. Their food courts and their shared seating areas will not be open. Their playgrounds will not be open, and the restaurants will be able to be open, but carry out only in the malls. Fitness centers, as long as they keep social distancing, good hygiene, at 50% capacity in those 77 counties. Retail stores, again, many places already have their Walmarts and their Hy-Vees and their Targets. A lot of them are already open. They sell clothing. As long as the other stores in those 77 counties can keep 50% capacity, there's no reason to punish them while Walmart's still allowed to stay open. So there's a little bit of a logic here. So we're also going to see, a couple of other like libraries in those 77 counties. They're going to be able to reopen. Racetracks, some sporting areas are going to start to take place again. Groups no more than 10 in an area. They want to keep social distancing. You're not changing much except for you're allowed to go places. So social distancing, good hygiene, wash your hands, stay at home if you feel ill. A lot of asymptomatic people, take your temperature if you feel not right. There's also the challenge for Iowa to get tested. And I'm going to list all these websites and all these counties below on how you can register and see if you qualify for get testing and how you can go about doing that. You're not going to see a whole lot of changes statewide as far as bars. You're not going to see a lot of museums reopen, movie theaters are not going to reopen, places where you really can't have a lot of social distancing. There's religious services are going to reopen for the weekly religious services, but that does not include weddings or funerals. So basically, if you have a wedding reception, you only have 10 people type of thing. It's not really worth it. But your weekly religious services are going to be reopening as long as the churches and synagogues and the temples can show that they're taking care of proper social distancing requirements. There's not going to be, these massive communal gatherings anywhere in the state. Like I said, it's a soft reopening for kind of the businesses and the restaurants to bring in business, start opening things back up. Surgeries, they're going to start having an increase in a number in elective surgeries. Now, elective does not mean that it's not life-threatening. There are surgeries that are very important to continuing a high quality of life that have been deemed non-essential or elective. That's going to be removed. However, they're going to have to make sure that they have enough PPE to where the hospitals and clinics are not going to have to go into state supplies or federal supply chains to get those PPE materials. And for hospitals, you're going to have to remain at 30% threshold of your ICU and your surgical beds for potential COVID-19 patients. So that's kind of basically how they're determining if you can do the surgeries or not, based on your stockpiles of PPE and your space available. So I mean, there's a lot of things that are starting to change here. It's going to be a slow restart, and if things start to backtrack, then there's going to be a reevaluation, obviously. And Governor Reynolds has stated that very clearly. This is an attempt to really see that the country as a whole, how they can do it. Some states have tried to just reopen automatically, and other states where they've had protests, things haven't gone as smoothly as they would have liked. So this is going to be kind of a little bit more cautionary tale to see if we can do it in a smart manner. Groups no bigger than 10, restaurants no groups bigger than 6, no self-service. It's a very, very slow, gentle, soft reopening, and I think Iowa is the best suited to tackle this, because a lot of counties have no cases at all. I've never had any cases, and the cases that some counties have are no longer there. You're seeing about a 38% roughly recovery rate. So a lot of counties that only had 1 or 2 or 3 people, they were younger, they have already recuperated them and are back to normal health. And so I think Iowa's got the best shot here of being the leading state to show the rest of the country how we could do it in a smart, intelligent manner. And I really want to give props to the governor of Iowa, Ashton Kutcher, and a few other leaders that have been really making this all possible, with getting more people tested, by making sure that people got their necessities met, by helping them do grocery shopping, pharmacies. There's a lot of nurses and nurse practitioners out there that are doing a lot of good work, and it's been a team effort. I also mentioned that the governor of Iowa has also submitted a request for aid for the pork industry and the meat packing plants here in Iowa. A letter was sent to Sonny Perdue and the vice president to do with agriculture, to basically help the producers of the hogs and the meat packers, to help them recoup some of their losses, the humane put down of the hogs, and to help with the mental health of a lot of these people who are losing their livelihoods. So the governor put that in today, to Sonny Perdue and the vice president, and I do believe that, who's that Secretary of Agriculture, Sonny Perdue, and Vice President Mike Pence. I hope everyone knows the difference between those two people. If not, you do now. So that's kind of where we're at. Now there's going to be obviously a daily watch on how this happens. We have a few days to go in before this takes place, this coming Friday. So hopefully this works out. Hopefully we can start seeing Iowa reopen. I'm really grateful that we haven't seen the massive protest in Iowa we have seen in surrounding states, and that's, I think, because Iowa has not been so restrictive and has been just really hoping and support the fact that Iowans are smart enough to know where the balance is on group outings. Like, I'm on the square of this town, and there's a few people that are out doing their business, but there's no large gatherings. There's carry out at the restaurant over here, and then they leave. There's not a whole lot of unnecessary actions, except for right now they're all honking. But this is where I think Iowa's at. I think we're in a position to be leaders on this. I think we've got the best possible people at the state level taking care of this. I think that we have the best people at the federal level dealing with this on our behalf. So I want to give you a huge thank you to Kim Reynolds, the governor of Iowa, Joni Ernst, and Chuck Grassley. I think they're doing an amazing job. And, for their credit, I think David Loebsack, Cindy Axney, Heavy Finkenauer, and Steve King are also doing a good job. Regardless of politics, I think this has been a pretty good team effort. I would have liked to see the Democrats act faster on the protection for the paychecks, the paycheck protection program. I think they waited too long, and they've already stated that the money that was put back into the accounts really already been spoken for, and so that kind of a shame on you for taking so long. But that's everyone in the House of Representatives at this point So I want people to, call politely and say, please don't drag your feet like that again. No one's out there doing this to be mean or to hurt people. We're trying to maintain a balance of health and economy. If you let the economy fail too much, doesn't matter if the virus leaves and is cured or not, we're not going to be in any better standing, and we might even be in a worse situation, because poverty equals poor health, and poor health prevents the economy from being able to grow and expand. So you have to have a balance, and I think Iowa's been the leader by far in having a balance of stay at home if you're sick. Essential workers, please do your job, but do it safely. Keep your social distancing. Wear a mask if you're going to be in a group of large people. I am out here with absolutely nobody. I've had to do some trimming, because when you do wear a mask, facial hair prevents it from being able to seal properly. So I've had to do some adjustments so the mask will work better when I'm out there trying to help people. So that's where we're at, Iowa. May 1st is coming up. I know a lot of people are still worried about rent. I have been in communication with the White House. The state legislators have been copied on those emails. They are working on something about rent and mortgages. Mitch McConnell mentioned today that there is going to most likely be a fourth pillar to this packages of aid that are going out. They're working on just what that's going to entail and how it's going to be affected through the states, because it's easier for the states to administer some of this stuff than it is the federal government. So we're going to see how this goes. If you want to be a bigger participant in how this outcome plays out, I encourage you, if you write to me and give me your zip code, I will find your federal legislators for you. And if you live in Iowa or any other states, I will give you their phone numbers. I'll give you their specific staff emails. I've had a really good, a big huge binder of contacts throughout all of Congress. I'm not giving anyone their personal addresses. I'll write them for you, but I want a group effort here to let the members of Congress know exactly what we need. And I think by doing it as a team effort, this way the state's reopening softly on the 1st of May. I think by communicating with the federal members of each state's congressional delegation, I think we're going to make sure that whatever we do in this fourth package is going to make sure that a lot of these small businesses that have had to be closed for 2 months are going to have some protections from, trying to catch up on bills. Because just because it's deferred doesn't mean it's not due. And I know a lot of them are going to be hurting. So I really would encourage everyone to reach out to your elected officials at the federal level. This is a federal program to say, for rents and mortgages, we need to do something, because no one's going to be able to pay 3 months worth of rent with only 50% of possible revenue coming in and you have to have all the lights on, even if you're only running at 50% capacity. So these are some things we need to address, and I'm hoping that other people out there will help me in this, to reach out to these people to explain the necessity of what we're trying to do here. And if you want to send me what you want to tell them, I will be gladly to forward it on. I will make sure that your state legislators are also carbon copied on everything, so that they know where we're at on this. So I really want to thank everyone in the state and the federal level for all the work they're doing. To everyone else out there that is abiding by the rules of social distancing, washing your hands, wearing the mask when appropriate, and keeping your travel down to a minimum, I really appreciate it. We're almost through this thing. We really are, guys. And I think that all of us here in Iowa, we've been truly blessed by being in this great state with such a really well-developed knowledge of what's going on as far as how the virus is spread, agricultural needs. I mean, we're on top of it. You guys, I keep up on all the other states and jurisdictions and what's going on. We are doing a tremendously good job. comparatively to all the other states, all the other municipalities. Iowa is owning this right now comparatively, and I really believe that's a lot to do with how our government, our local governments, counties, cities, states have really handled this. So thank you to each and every single one of you out there that are policymakers and really care about supporting your communities. So I want everyone to stay healthy, stay wealthy, stay wise, and as always, stay classy, Iowa.